Thanks, man. I worked really hard on it.
Yeah,
I've changed it multiple times. Like the past 5 changes have all been that title. But not that that actually matters. Oh, I also deleted my name, but hi, I'm Sean. This is my presentation. It's about recon. This is pretty much the talking one slide. If you just look it up, you can go on Google. So if any of you guys like fall asleep or miss it, you can do that. But to kind of make it different from your Google searches, I'm going to try to talk about my personal methodology when doing recon for bug bounties, and also just like some unique kind of indirect recon things that I've found or like talk to people about. But hi, I'm Sean. I am RA at Photo House. I'm a Kappa Delta Row brother from Rush, if you're interested. Otherwise, oh, it's also right here. I used to be president of RC3, so the one that Michael wasn't president of. And then we made babies and then had this club. Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, but I'm the white one. Anyway, so security interests involve just like web app security, bug bounty, social engineering, recon, really like recon, OSINT, that type of stuff. Other interests include anything in like the hipster realm, but yeah. Cool, anyway. So actual title, practical reconnaissance and content discovery when hunting for bugs. Who knows what a bug bounty is? Okay, cool. Does anyone want to tell me what a bug bounty is?
It's a bug bounty is typically a competition or service setup that allows you to, with permission, attack a site or service in order to find vulnerabilities, report them, and hopefully get paid and not arrested.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly it. YouTube, Snapchat, Uber, most large companies have it. Goldman Sachs has it. And to do these, you can either do them through their like individual bug bounty programs. So like Facebook has them, like the Facebook White Hat bounty program, right? That's what it's called. Okay, cool. Or like Hack the Pentagon, which is like only a certain time frame. Or there's rolling ones where you sign up on like HackerOne or BugCrowd, and you can choose any of the targets that you like. But pretty much, we're going to be talking about, so step 3 is like where all the magic happens. We're going to be talking, recon is essentially the first part of step 3. The reason recon is first is because if you can't find endpoints to detect, you're not going to find vulnerabilities to report. And to do this, you can use like web application hackers, handbooks, checklists, which is that right there. I won't read all of it. Essentially, what we'll be going over for tools are how you can actually do those things. Especially just identify, like, just essentially map your attack surface and understand what technologies are being used by the company. And understanding that infrastructure and seeing what services are being used by the company gives you options. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like a numbers game where someone's always going to mess up somehow, and you're going to find it if you're good enough at recon, and then you can get paid for it. And here's just like some vulnerabilities that you can find, like that you will get paid for with just content discovery. So like server information pages, so like the default like Apache page, as long as, or like something with credentials, sensitive data exposure, like just like a .git, like /.git, path traversal, and also subdomain takeover. Who knows what a subdomain takeover is? Me. Okay. I don't know what your name is. Hi, I'm Sean. What's your name? Stuart, what's a subdomain takeover?
So if a company points a subdomain to like an AWS bucket, you can often, they don't currently have the subdomain registered. You can often register that you own the domain on AWS and point the subdomain to your instance.
Yeah, exactly. So like something that isn't AWS, so like Shopify, for example, if it's like store.example.com or store.target.com, and you dig it and you see that it points to myverycoolstore.myshopify.com, and store.example.com shows you that, you can go on Shopify, make an account, register that, point it to store.example.com, even though it's not something that you own. Since you'll own myverycoolstore.myshopify.com, Shopify doesn't verify that you own that custom subdomain, and then now you own it, and you get paid. Starbucks, I think, pays like $2.5K, which is a lot of money. Pay for loans. Yeah, what's up?
So what you just said was pretty much if you get the, like, say domain like is like Google or something.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have the subdomain registered, you register the subdomain.
No, sorry. So they will have this. So say a company used to run, like let's say Google has a merch store
Yeah.
at store.google.com that they've registered that, and in their DNS records, store.google.com points to like googlestore.myshopify.com,
Yeah.
right? Now you log on, you create an account on Shopify, and then you register exactly. So Google no longer has that merch store, and therefore no longer a Shopify account. You can go take googlestore.myshopify.com.
Oh, okay.
So it's still pointing to that, and then it goes there directly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I understand.
Cool. Awesome. So I guess, what tools do we know from classes that we take here, other than these? Someone can help me, because I actually don't remember. Yeah. Anything? Yeah. What's up?
Verb.
Yeah. Verb. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. Any like commercial tools or like open source tools?
That you get taught from classes?
Yeah. That we learned in school. Yeah. Yeah, Nikto, Hydra, basically like all the things in Cali. It was super useful, but here's some tools that I don't think I learned from school, and that's why you go to this club, and you come and learn. Something like Sublister, which is subdomain enumeration, dir search, which is kind of like dirbuster, but I like it because it's cleaner and I think it's faster. Web screenshot just screenshots a website, helps you do subdomain takeovers. Lazy recon, which is actually just like every single bug bounty tool you can find on the planet into one tool, and you just point it at a target, and it spends like an hour or two, and it gives you back like really pretty HTML things. Census is like Shodan. GS Dumpster is kind of like Sublister, but online. Does anyone have any other tools that they want to share with the class? Yeah.
Well, AFL, which was talked about in the first news.
True.
Yeah, that's a pretty well-used puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Thank you. Yeah. There's a bunch of tools. But at the end of the day, if you don't know what the tools are doing, it doesn't really matter. So let's actually kind of talk about what if you don't have these tools. Let's say you only have Google and like other search engines. Google dorking is a great way to find subdomains and other endpoints. That's when you just do like in URL or like use like the quotations and stuff like that. And the thing is, there are so many other search engines that will list these things that you can go and search for that. That's essentially how Sublister will work, is that they just go through every subdomain and virus total and everything and give you old DNS records. You can always search on GitHub for secrets, like AWS secret keys. You kind of be surprised how often you'll find that. May or may not have also committed one myself in the past. Otherwise, you can also just look at source code of the website and find relative URLs. You can build your own tools to find relative URLs in the site, and you can kind of, in your head, kind of map out what this site has and all the assets. Robots.txt, if you should do /robots.txt, websites have that for Google and other search engines to crawl their site, and sometimes they'll put like disallow/private GitHub repo, and now you know that you can go there. Otherwise, just DNS records, digging is good, Dig Dug, yeah. But some other cool tools that I haven't really, well, maybe like the first 3 I found online, and the rest I kind of just like with talking to other people. They're less popular, but they're also super useful. Wayback Machine basically archives different snapshots in history of a website, and because that website gets updated, those endpoints are old, but they might still exist, and that's how you might find like something from like TechCrunch 2014's GitHub repo or whatever it is. So Wayback URLs, that's built by Tom Nom Nom. He's super cool. Crunchbase is really awesome. Crunchbase is essentially just a database of startup mergers and acquisitions that happen, and mergers get really messy and people make mistakes, and because of that, you can kind of take advantage of that and find those assets. Built with essentially just tells you what this like the technology that this website has been built with. So like if this is an Angular shop or this is more of a React app. This is my favorite thing, mainly because no one else uses it, and it's actually not that useful, but it's super cool. Demo time. Works. So, someone name a company or like a website? Reddit? Okay, not Reddit because
Slack.
we're gonna do Slack. We're gonna do Slack.com. Basically, you just put your target there. Old Reddit at least has an old search functionality that returns all the subdomains or like domains that have been posted to Reddit, which is kind of cool. cool. Never actually helped me, but you can kind of see how users are using that app. And you can see like joinslack.com or like status.slack.com. So you kind of just want to see like things that are open. There you go. Yeah, super simple stuff. If anyone wants to help me build any of these tools that are just something that I haven't had the time to work on, so like anything like Reddit search or like a URL shortener scraper. By that I mean that a lot of large companies have their own like tiny URL type of things, like fb.me or like Google's is like go something, and you just kind of put that in. You can kind of see what links link to what. Something else that I think is really funny and also nets you like an easy like $100 to $250 is a social media takeover. That's like a subdomain takeover, but essentially it's just like if your Facebook icon on your site goes to /Sean Sun and you used to own the Facebook account Sean Sun or the Facebook page Sean Sun, and now you have a new one which is like Sean Sun is super great. That Sean Sun will now give you that, and if you want to take it over, you can just change your username to Sean Sun. At the end of the day, the more recon you do and the more bug bounty stuff you do, you'll find new cool ways and you'll innovate and you'll find ways that other people aren't looking, and that way you can build your own tools. You can also build your own word list, which comes just from practice and also just from seeing what works and building it, customizing it maybe to your target as well. Also, I literally learned about this like 8 a.m. today, which goes to show how many different new tools there are. So like Wayback Robots, a lot like Wayback URLs, except it's looking for old robots.txt files, so it's going back to that disallow thing. It's kind of like using that to scrape. That's the link for it. And then essentially the point is keep yourself updated on these new methods. Twitter's a great way to do this. Friends are a great way to do this. Just kind of interacting with the bug bounty community overall is a great way. And then I guess something that you won't find online is my personal methodology. It's probably not great. So for me, at least, the way I like to do bug bounties, or at least recon, is in a very kind of like laissez-faire way. So I find a target on HackerOne with probably the largest scope that I can find, something like that. So a bunch of those. So star dot means that you can go to any single subdomain for that URL, and then I do subdomain enumeration tools edit until I have a really large list. And the first thing I look for is like store or support. So support is Zendesk or like something else that's really easy to take over, just like Shopify. I look for things like CloudFront that you can take over, or just unencrypted S3 buckets, anything like that. It's free money, and it's a lot of free money. And then afterwards, I'll look for endpoints that show like a default server page and try to maybe like directory brute force it, or I'll look for dev endpoints, or like and then afterwards production endpoints, because sometimes dev endpoints are not behind a WAF. Yeah, scopes I like. This is something I'm working on right now. If anyone wants to talk to me about it afterwards, Goldman Sachs. You can find this target on HackerOne, and they just added, I think, honest dollar. So excited about that. Listerine is better than scope. Yeah. Otherwise, just like helpful things to have. The Github Student Pack gives you like a digital Ocean Droplet for almost a year, like 10 months, I think. VPS is really great because you can put all your stuff on there and you can have that attack, and you cannot have your computer or your own personal like server running, and you can go to class and you can come back. You can even set it up where like you run lazy recon, which takes maybe like 2 or 3 hours, and when it's done, it just texts you. It's like, hey, I'm done. Here's all the really cool stuff. Servers are good. Cloud is good. Otherwise, something that I picked up from other like bug bounty hunters that I've met. If you set up a Chrome profile and you call it like proxy, you install the Switchy Omega Chrome browser, Chrome extension. Then you set that. So basically, what Switchy Omega does is just it changes the proxy settings for that specific Chrome profile. So you change it to your local host. Now you have Burp Suite on the go. It's better than just like going to opening Firefox and like doing that. Some type of mind mapping tool. I just started using something I think called Mind Mapper Pro. They were giving it away for free at one point. Just any way you find it easy for you to log your finds and like kind of understand the company infrastructure. That has like all the tools. Like it's like a 200 list of tools. Do that. That's Bug Bounty Forum is I think a nonprofit started by the guy who wrote Lazy Recon. And then the last helpful thing to have is just friends, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone to do bug bounties together. it's really boring alone, so find friends. Friends are good. Or find club members to do it with. And there's a list of people you should follow. Nahamsek is the guy who built Lazy Recon and Bug Bounty Forum. All these people are much better at explaining what I just did than me. But yeah, but also shameless plug. Follow me on Twitter. Cool. Questions? Yeah.
So I follow GitHub, and there's a lot of like really awesome open source intelligence tools if you just like dig into the GitHub community.
Mhm.
So like just random scrapers like
Yeah.
and everything. So if you want some good like GitHub followers, hit me up. I got a whole bunch. And tools.
Yeah.
GitHub, the social network.
The new hacker tool sharing platform.
Agreed. Yeah. Someone else really cool to follow on GitHub is Sammy YK or Sammy K. Sammy K. I don't know. Sammy something.
Yeah.
Sammy K. Thank you. Okay. He's literally always on GitHub, and your feed just like fills up with things he's following. And it's cool to see that. Just think of him as your personal curator of GitHub repos. But any other questions? Okay. Cool. Thanks.